This beautiful pocket-sized transistor radio is the Toshiba model TR-193, and it dates to the late 1950s. What makes this model special and fairly famous, at least in transistor radio collecting circles, is the fact that Toshiba used real lace underneath clear plastic to make the front of this radio. As you can probably guess from that alone, this radio was primarily marketed towards women, and was one of the few radios specifically targeted at that market, actually. There aren't too many other examples. I've shown a few, like that pink Westinghouse radio. I've had this radio for a couple years, but it was in non-working condition when I got it, and since it had all the original parts in there, I had decided to leave it alone at that time. But recently I changed my mind and decided that I want to hear this thing play, so I repaired it. And now it sounds pretty good for a 4-transistor radio, at least. The tuning dial's a little tough to turn. And you'll often see these radios with broken tuning dials because they're very, very thin, as you can see from the side view. So it's not a stellar performer, but it does pick up a few stations, and more at night. That noise is unfortunately from my clock collection. It's like the noise of the multiplexing circuit. But there's nothing really in that frequency range during the day anyway.
This winter and early spring. And if you have what they call spalling, which is little divots out of the concrete, you'll usually find these down by the street, maybe on the apron of the driveway.
I like the little design detail on the volume control.
There's two things that cause spalling, if we can just be that general.
Just wait, and then I would text her to see if she was indeed able to kill the bobcat. At which point I would expect the bobcat to text me back saying, "I just killed your wife,
What?
and I am now texting you with her phone."
Okay.
A morning quarterback. If he has a so-so rookie year, it's, see, he's not motivated. He doesn't have the chip on his shoulder. I knew, we knew it pre-draft. We talked about this, blah, 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 blah. He has a great rookie year and a great career. See, this is what I'm talking about. The guy.
I'd say that's pretty respectable for a 4-transistor radio. The sound quality is solid, and it picks up quite a few stations, although it is a bit more sensitive to interference than some other radios I have. Now, although it's a pretty small radio, it's actually pretty heavy. It's probably around half a pound or so. It's just very dense. Alright, I'll take the cover off and show you guys the insides. Trying to do that carefully without cracking it. A lot of these have broken cabinets. This plastic is pretty brittle. There's the label on the inside. It says Toshiba Transistor Radio Reflex Type Model TR-193, and gives the frequency range, some suggested battery types, and it also says Tokyo Shibara Electric Co. Limited, which was Toshiba's name at the time. Toshiba was just a brand name of theirs. There's the serial number. So they put a little cutout in the back cover for the audio output transformer, which is pretty huge for a pocket transistor radio, and some other cutouts for for other things, but they don't really line up with the components on the chassis actually. It's kind of strange. So you can see I changed all the electrolytic capacitors out. Only 2 of them were really completely bad. They had just dried out, and that prevented the radio from really working. One of which was the usual suspect, the capacitor connected to the center tap of the volume control. When you're trying to bring one of these radios back to life, generally the capacitor attached to the volume control center tap should be the first one you change out, because that will usually give you the biggest performance improvement. This radio has 2nd generation Toshiba transistors. These ones are black painted metal cylinders. The very earliest ones were oval shaped. There's a jack for an earphone on the side there. This radio came with a nice leather case, but I don't believe I have that case. All in all, a very attractive radio. Definitely a keeper in my collection. Thanks for watching.